Hi everyone, welcome back to Coffee, Comfort, and Jesus with me, Teresa. I'm here to share part 4 of my mama's dementia journey. And for those of you who have been watching the past 3 and join me today, I thank you for coming back. I appreciate you. I hope that through sharing my story that I've helped somebody that has watched. So today I'm going to be talking about part 4, the good times, the good memories, the happy times, the laughter and all. And that's actually what this is about today. God gave us laughter in the happy times. God gave us laughter in some happy times during my mama's dementia journey. So I invite you now to listen with me as I talk about a few times I want to share. Maybe help somebody, because laughter is what got us through a lot of things. Okay? So thank you again for joining me. And I'm just going to begin with, for those of you that know that I've talked about the parts of my mama's journey. I've talked about and shared how God was always there. He never did leave us. Me and my brother and sister, the family. He was even there with my mom. And then we went through the signs, the changes, and then the loneliness and the guilt that I especially felt. I shared with that because a lot of stuff I blame myself for. But today it's going to be good stuff. So just bear with me as I share. I'm trying to make this short and sweet. But anyhow, so I do want to share with you one time. My sister was always the backbone kind of. She could do anything. She could do anything with Mama, didn't bother during her sickness. She knew how to not get upset. I know she was frustrated, but she never showed it. But I was the one that did. I didn't know how to handle stuff. And I showed it sometimes, and I'd get upset, and that's why I feel so bad. And I didn't know how to handle situations. So one day, I decided to take a journey on with myself. I said, Mama, we're going to Walmart. and I said, I know I can do this, God. I know I can do it. Help me. So we went to Walmart, and she was like a kid in a candy store. And she could hardly get around at this time, you know. Okay, she had to use her walker and all, and she knew who I was, but then there was times that she'd drift off another place. So we was in Walmart, pretty crowded day. Y'all know Walmart, how it can be sometimes. No offense to anybody. But she decided she wanted her some glasses, eyeglasses and all. And she already had some. So went her around there looking and shopping for some, and she'd find some, and she'd put them on, and she said, oh, I love these. And she just looking at herself, and she was pretty. My mom had the prettiest blue eyes. But then, I don't know what happened during that time between her trying on some glasses and I just turned around. Mama was gone. I mean, she was gone. And oh my gosh, I started panicking. I mean, oh Lord, Mama, where is she at? And this is a Walmart. And, you know, she's not well. I'm sorry. And I was freaking out. So I went down through the aisles looking for this. I finally caught up down with her son. She was down walking through the aisles, and I said, Mama. I said, and you know, it's like as if nothing even happened, bless her heart. And she said she needed some drinks. Okay, some Coca-Cola. She loved her Coke, and so we were going to get this. So I said, Mama, please stay with me. And I'm sorry, y'all. She was slow. I know that. And then again, I didn't have patience. It was me that didn't have patience. It was me, and I can't forgive myself for that. It was me, even though I was asking God to help me, which He was there. So that was a funny time. Now I'll look back, maybe I made me laugh. And when I shared my brother and sister, you know, they got a laugh out of it. But so all was good, and on the way to the car. I drive a Beetle, by the way. That's my Cadillac. But anyhow, and I was getting her in the car, and she was taking off to go get another car, which is funny. It's funny. Not because I'm making fun of my mom, but you gotta laugh. You gotta laugh, you know? And I know today she's laughing down on some of this stuff, but I got so upset. I was trying to get the walker in my Beetle, and the Beetle, she's not like the older style. She's got more room today, but there was no room that day, and I got so darn mad at that walker, and I mean, it was terrible. And I just cried. I said, Lord, help me. I can't even take my mama somewhere and do it right. So bless her heart, you know what? My mama started laughing. My mama was laughing. She was laughing. And it was a good laugh. So then after that happened, I was going to tell you, there's just a few things. I mean, there's so many, but these are the ones that were special to me because I remember them. I was with her. But then after that, we left and we went to, she decided she wanted some Wendy's. She loved the Wendy's Frosties. Okay, that shouldn't be hard, you know. So we drove down to Wendy's to get her Frosty and all. And when I went to the window to order in the car, the drive-thru, Mama was talking. She was talking, bless her heart, just talking away, talking. And I said, Mama, please, I'm trying to hear this lady right here and all. And she just kept on, okay? So I just let her keep on. Then the girl at the window said, honey, I can't understand you. What are you saying you want, you know? And, you know, sometimes they can't understand you anyway. Sorry, guys. So when I got to the window, I said, I went like this to the window to the girl. I said, I'm sorry, but my mama, she's sick. She's got dementia. She don't. And I'm sorry, and all of a sudden Mama was going, what are you saying, Teresa? What are you saying? I said, Mama, I'm just trying to explain this lady her order. And she said, this better be all you're doing. I swear. Because if you watch my passage, remember, one of the signs was she didn't trust nothing you said or anything. So anyhow, the girl makes the order right now. All was good. And we pulled over and ate in the shade, and this was not a funny moment, but this was a tender, happy moment for me. She looked at me and she said, Teresa, honey, she said, thank you so much for taking me places and what you do for me. I said, that's a happy time for me. That was a happy time for me. But see, too, my channel's about God and how He don't leave us, and He don't. He don't. And even you all, who's ever watching, oh, I wish I could have a load full of y'all watching. I mean, to know that my story means something. You know, but, and as I said, it helps me some, because I still have trouble with some things. But anyhow, just the laughter when I look back and stuff keeps me going on that, on how bad it was. So these are just a few short little things I wanted to share, and then there's another time I'd like to share, like, what was the one I had? What was the memory? I wrote down, I'm sorry, I had a memory I wanted to share. Oh, this is a good one here. And God had to be here. He was here. What am I saying he had to be? She loved fried green tomatoes. Who don't? One of my favorites. Remember, I'm from the South, but so she wanted some fried green tomatoes, and I had got her that day, and I said, Mom, we're going to go find you some fried green tomatoes. That's all she wanted. So we made her a trip to Fats. Fats is known for their fried green tomatoes, if any of y'all know that. And I think today Fats is finally closed. I'm not sure, but there's none around here now where I'm at. So I took her to get fried green tomatoes, and the place was busy. And I said, Lord, please give me strength, because, you know, I still wasn't comfortable with my mama by myself. I always had my sister with me. And even though she's the baby sister, she done it right, okay? So I was by myself these times. So we went in, sat down, looking and all, and she said, what we getting, my mama? And I said, Mama, I'm getting you some fried green tomatoes. That's what you wanted. And she said, oh, she was so excited and happy and waiting for them. Well, waitress come over and said, ma'am, we told her that's what we wanted. She said, honey, we don't have any tomatoes in right yet. The truck ain't come or something. Oh, Lord, I said to myself, oh, God, I want to tell Mama. I mean, and if you follow my other videos, that was another thing. Sometimes the anger that she would have never done if she hadn't been sick. She would have understood, but she didn't. And it was bad. And what am I going to eat? I said, Mom, I'm sorry, maybe we can find something else. And I looked at the lady and I remember saying, ma'am, have you not got anything similar to fried green tomatoes? So anyway, we ended up eating something, and she wasn't really happy with it. But the funny part is, I'm not making fun of my mom. Y'all know this. Y'all, maybe somebody can relate. But I was going to go pay for the bill when it was over, and she said, I'll just sit here. And she was where I could see her, and I said, Lord, excuse me, you all, during this recording, my telephone is ringing, and it's probably spam. They call a lot, but I'll be right back. I'm sorry about that, everyone. It was my son. And I do apologize for that. I didn't want to do this over. But I do apologize because most of the time it is spam. Y'all know spam? Y'all have any spam? But anyhow, back to what I was telling you right quick on I think I left off when I went to pay for this stuff, at Fats. And she was going to sit there and wait for me while I paid, okay? Well, I could see her where she was. And I said, Mom, I'll be right back, okay? So when I was over paying for the bill and all, and it was crowded, there's people behind me and on the line and everything waiting. And I could see through the corner of my eye, like, and all of a sudden, there goes my mom out the door. I went, oh my God, Mama! And I was hollering, Mama! In the store, I mean the restaurant there, and I looked at I didn't know what to do because I hadn't paid for it yet, and there goes Mama. No telling where, And I said, ma'am, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to get out of paying. I'll be back. And I just left. And I think I even left my wallet laying on the counter. And they probably did think I wasn't going to pay. But I went out the door there, and then I looked, and people was outside standing around, how we go out after we eat, and I don't stand. And I said, has anybody seen a lady? I hear, bless her, she's with the wallet. And they said, ma'am, there's a lady down there. And she was down there sitting on a bench all by herself at Fats, okay? And I said, oh, Lord, thank you, God, because no telling where she would have went or something could have happened to her. I was totally freaking out. But the part that was funny was, when I think back, because I was the one paying for the food, and I really think the cashier didn't know what was going on. And she probably thought I was trying to get out of paying my bill. Anyway, I went back in and told her the situation. My mom was out there, and I'm sorry. But yes, she was out there waiting on me, out there on the bench, and she was just singing. And I said, Mom, are you okay? And she said, I'm fine. She said, I've been out here looking at everybody go by. So I just thank God for that. Because, what if she... Well, I know nothing major could have happened, but at the time I was panicking. But see, God was there too, because He took care of her. And it was funny now when I think back, because there she was again, going out that door, just like she's going to Walmart. So y'all, thank you for letting me laugh on here with you, because I need it sometimes, and I'm sure if you all anybody relates to this, it's okay to laugh. It's okay. Have you some good times and laugh. It's something to make your heart feel good about. At least everything wasn't all gloomy and doomy and sad. But along with those memories, there's, we had before her last year, because she passed the year right after my stepdad. She was only here on earth for another year. And the birthday celebration, her last one was awesome. Christmas. God was there because He gave us their mama that time. And like I said the part two, some people don't experience this, but she still knew who we were, and that was something. That was something. Because today I call my kids different names and different names and everything. I get them all mixed up. But anyhow, I just want to share this with you today. A little laughter, because it was, and I can still see it today. So I just want to tell you too, I would like to give you just a couple of verses to go with this today, please, if you don't mind. First verse would be Proverbs, chapter 17:22, and it says, "A merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drieth up the bones." And y'all have heard, like, laughter's good for the soul. It is. It truly is. Because the times that we laugh with Mama, that's really the times we hang on to today, I think, to keep us still going, even though we miss her. And then the next verse is Ecclesiastes 3:4, where it says, and I think a lot of you might even know this verse, there's a time to weep, a time to mourn, a time to laugh, and a time to dance. And that's so true. I'm not wanting to get off the subject, but I thank God for the laughter and the humor that He does give us. I mean, He does. And even God Himself, thank God He has humor. I believe with all my heart. I'm sure He laughs at each of us every day over something. I'm so thankful for that. So I just want to share this today. And, He did. Remember, He gave us laughter to get through even the hardships at times in our life. So, thank you again for joining me. I have one more. The final chapter will be my next one. And it will be a journey where she left Earth finally, where she's now in her heavenly home. And again, I do thank you for joining me. I really hope it means so much to me to know that my story here meant something to somebody out there. Even if it's just a handful. And I would so appreciate it. If you like, subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate it. It's not just about stuff like this. There'll be all kinds of things that God, I feel, is going to lead me to share. And I really appreciate it. So, I just want to say, laugh a little today. If you're going through something hard, if you're going through something like I'm sharing, if you're just down and just for some reason it's a bad day, just laugh a little. Just laugh. Just think about something. Ask God to help you, give you something to laugh about. Guarantee it'll help you make you feel better, because it's good for you. It's like medicine to the heart. Well, thank you all again. And I hope to see you next time. Until then, have a blessed day. Thank you for watching.